What is going on, Navigation Nation, and welcome back to another Q&A session. If this is your first time joining us, if it's your 5th, 6th, 7th, if you join us every single week, welcome. So good to have all of you here for these Q&A sessions. And if it is your first time, this is where we come together Friday evenings, we answer questions, and overall, we just have a good time. Have a good time here in the navigation station. And again, guys, so good to have you here. We got a lot to go over here tonight, most of which is the Pokemon 25th anniversary. Yeah, that's right. It is upon us. The 25th anniversary is upon us, and especially for old guys like me, it makes us feel that much older to know that Pokemon has been around for 25 years. Really incredible. Just can't believe it. And again, it makes me feel very, very old. So we got Gimpit here in the live chat. What is going on, my friend? How are you doing? Talking about people that come back every single week. Our boy Gimpit, he is in this live chat every single time, and it is good to see you, my friend. So guys, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it tonight. Before we start jumping into questions, especially those surrounded around the 25th anniversary, I do have a couple announcements here just real quick right off the bat. The first one, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, our podcast with Jules and myself, the Pokemon Purveyors, we dropped a new episode today, and it was all about our top 3 searches on eBay, what we've been searching recently. And it was really interesting, a very fun segment, one that I think we're going to continue in the future, because it was just interesting to see our mindset and really see what goals we had in mind in those searches. So I would definitely go and check that out. I'm sure Jules will be joining us here shortly in the live chat, and I'll have him link up the episode in the live chat so that you guys can check it out. But that episode, a lot of fun. I really think that you guys will enjoy it. So be sure to go ahead and check out the newest episode of the Pokemon Purveyors. The other thing, if you guys haven't seen yet, and if you didn't watch my video earlier this week, I have these babies up for sale. That's right. I've got the Japanese Southern Islands collection. And I did put a post out recently on Instagram letting you guys know about it, but I want to let you know again, I do have a few left. They've been selling like hotcakes, as you might imagine, but I do have a few left, and if you guys are interested, go ahead and reach out to me directly via my email. That's pokenavv27@gmail.com. You can reach out to me there and possibly get your hands on these last remaining Japanese Southern Islands collections. And I mean, guys, I'm going to show it to you again. These are absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. As you'll see there, it has the Japanese price tag. Get that up there to the camera so you guys can see it. The original Japanese price tag still on the package. 20 plus years old that these are. You know, I had the pleasure also of opening a bunch of these up that I'm going to be sending in a PSA submission. And man, I'll tell you what, opening that up and smelling those cards, there's just nothing like it. There's nothing like the smell of vintage Pokemon cards. Immediately took me back in time, brought me back to that place of my innocence, and it's just amazing. So again, guys, if you want to get your hands on one of the Japanese Southern Islands collections, just reach out to me, pokenavv27@gmail.com, and maybe you can experience that nostalgic smell as well. All right, and then the last thing here, my boy Jules in the house. Jules, I don't know if you saw it, buddy, just let everybody know about the podcast for today. And if you're able to in the live chat, I would truly appreciate it. Just go ahead and provide a link so everybody can find that episode. So as long as we're able to get that link for you guys, go ahead and check it out once we're done here tonight. It was, like I said, it was a fun episode. We had a good time, and I know you guys will as well. All right, last thing here. Speaking of podcasts, how did you guys enjoy the very first episode of the Pokemon Masterclass? That was with Pokemon Radar, and again, that was so much fun. So much fun getting to talk to Radar, getting his background on the hobby, and also just his story, the fact that he had a debilitating illness that he was able to overcome, and that was what really propelled him into becoming a collector, becoming an investor, and turning Pokemon into a business. It was so cool to hear his story. But this upcoming week, we have the #1 English Pokemon cards collector in the world. That is David Person. Now, if you guys don't know about Dave, I would definitely check him out. He also has a YouTube channel, a wealth of information. And guys, I mean, the collection that he has at his disposal is second to none, really. Well, obviously, if you're the #1 English Pokemon cards collector in the world, there's not many that are going to measure up to that. But the guy is a wealth of information. And he is going to be on next week's episode. So, with that being said, if you guys have any questions that you want to ask Dave, that you would like me to ask him on the podcast, then either send them to me in my email, again, PokéNav27@gmail, or you can send them over to me in my direct messages on Instagram. We had some good questions last time for Pokemon Radar, and I'm interested to hear from you guys as well with Dave. Because he's going to be an awesome guest, and he's also hilarious. If you've watched any other podcasts with him, he is absolutely hilarious. So I'm really, really looking forward to that, and we're going to dive into some really interesting topics. Ironically enough, he is also a currently practicing financial advisor. So I'm sure we're going to get into some financial talk, probably more than just Pokemon, and I'm really, really looking forward to that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and welcome. We got more people rolling in here. So let me go ahead and welcome everybody else in. All right, so we got Ozzy. We got Beardmander, Pokedin. What is up, my friend? Connor B. CJ Do Work. Always rolling into the live chat. What's up, buddy? Brooklyn Jeff. Who else we got in here? Hey, Pikachu, TCG. What is going on, my friend? And Jorge. What's up, buddy? All right. So, with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump into main topic for today. As you guys know, that is the 25th anniversary. Now, we just had a recent drop of information on PokeBeach, which that's where we love to get our information from, is good old PokeBeach. And in celebration of the 25th anniversary, we've got these jumbo cards. They're essentially reprints of all of the original starters from all 8 generations. And essentially what they're going to be doing with these, as you can see here, you've got the original base set Bulbasaur, base set Charizard, base set Squirtle, all of the Neos going into Gen 3, Gen 4, Diamond and Pearl, Black and White, X, Y, and then most recently Sword and Shield. Now, these will be released in these booster packs here, and they'll be released basically in order of generation, starting with Generation 8 and then working back to Generation 1. Now, you can see the first one will be released on March 5th, and then looks like the Generation 1 or Kanto, those will be released on October 8th. And inside of these booster packs, you will have you'll have the jumbo card, I think one of the 3 if I'm not mistaken, and then you will have 2 booster packs. Now obviously there's been a lot of talk around the jumbo cards, pretty cool. I mean, it's a reprint. I think that it's interesting. I wasn't super excited about that, but the thing that not a lot of people have been discussing, I don't think, is what booster packs are in fact going to be in here. Are we going to get just whatever that current set is? 2 booster packs of that, whenever that generation's pack is released. Are we going to have packs that are kind of maybe Generations-esque for this particular series. I don't know. That's the thing that I was that I was really looking for, the information that I haven't really been able to find. So that's pretty much it. That's what we know thus far. There is one other little piece of information that just recently dropped as well, and that is that we've got some promos releasing in General Mills cereal. Man, I haven't seen this in quite some time that Pokemon has done something like this. This definitely brings back the nostalgic feels here. So just again, we are continuing into the 25th anniversary, and it's really starting to ramp up now. It seems like Pokemon is taking the 25th anniversary by the hand and really guiding it along at this point. So that's really what I want to discuss here tonight. I want to discuss what you guys think is going to happen throughout this year for the 25th anniversary. I guess the first thing I should ask is, what do you think those booster packs are going to be on the inside? Are we going to have some kind of Generations-esque type of packs in here? Are we going to have a whole new line of products to celebrate the 25th anniversary up until, I think, the official release in fall? That's what I'm interested to find out. But yeah, and it looks like we're getting an echo again when I flip screens. I don't know why. It's weird. I don't know why we're getting that echo. Oh well, we probably won't be flipping between screens that much here tonight, so shouldn't make too big of a deal. But let's go ahead and jump into some questions here, see what everybody has on their mind. And our boy Connor B is also a financial advisor representing. I mean, I can't say I am current. I'm a former FA, so I can't include myself. I guess I'm just a veteran at this point. Beardmander Pokedin says, have you been paying attention to the current traction of XY Evolution's booster boxes, selling price and asking price on the secondary market lately? I have not, actually. A lot of my focus has been on more vintage items. XY Evolution. Let's take a look. In fact, let's go ahead and just take a look at what XY Evolutions is doing. Let's see. Whoo! All right, let me go ahead and bring you guys in here. Let me just go ahead and bring you guys in here. Let's see. Let's see what some of these XY booster boxes. And I know, guys, you might be getting an echo here. Again, I have no idea why, so just bear with me. $620. Yeah. Well, I had called it. I thought that by year's end, so the end of 2020, that we would see prices going over 500, and it looks like we are. Man, again, I'm never tied to any one idea or kind of philosophy, I guess you could say. So, I still think that Evolutions, it's just a great set. It really is. And I think that over the long term, more and more people are going to recognize that. So to me, the increase in prices is not surprising. But at the same time, if Evolutions were to take a drop or to take a hit, I would just adjust accordingly. See what maybe the graded cards, if it's a better route to go with graded cards than actually, investing in the sealed products. You always adjust accordingly. But again, as I've been saying from the beginning, I thought that Evolutions just had a lot of good characteristics working for it. A lot of nostalgia, a lot of really just good timing on its part, more or less. The fact that it was released around Pokemon Go, the 20th anniversary, bringing a lot of people back in. And the fact that, again, we've talked about it before, base set, first edition, shadowless, unlimited, Japanese, they're all so expensive now. So everybody's moving to the next best thing, and to me that is evolutions. So yeah, it's again, I don't always keep up to date on the exact prices on everything, guys. I mean, you'd have to be sitting around your computer all the time and tracking it constantly. But and I do have a life outside of this, but again, it's not too surprising. It's not too surprising to understand that. And I've got, let's see, 1, 2, I got 3, 4. I got 4 of them sitting here behind me, and I got in the next room, I think I've got another 10 or 15 in there. So that it's good. It's good news for me. It's always good to see. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Hey, Pat Flynn in the house, my man. What is going on? Yeah, I guess Pat likes that Daft Punk theme I got going on here. You know, I just like that. Got that little bit of reverb. You know, I'm not known as a an electronica kind of guy. You know, but I've been known to get down in that area. All right, let's see. Okay, so here's a good question, and something that I wanted to get into here, because I knew a lot of people would have this assumption once we saw these jumbo cards coming out. And that is coming from, who had this? Ash Dub says, if the Pokemon Company can reprint the base set artwork, couldn't they reprint base set packs? Well, in reality, they probably could. They could probably get close to a reprint of the actual base set packs. They could reprint the base set cards like what they've done here. Obviously, they've got the 25th anniversary stamp on there. But guess what, guys? It will never have that Wizards of the Coast logo on it. They can't. That is a completely different company. That was a completely different producer at the time for Pokemon cards. So even if they did reprint it exactly, it will never have that Wizards of the Coast print or stamp on the cards, because it's basically copyright infringement. So we will always know, whether they do that or not, we will always know what the originals are. And obviously nobody's going to pay the same prices for a reprinted card when you know, in fact, that these cards are WotC. So yes, they could. And I mean, like you said, it's pretty much an exact print other than the 25th anniversary stamp on there. But we know, obviously, that it is not a Wizards of the Coast card. So that is one thing that I wanted to just squash, because I've been getting questions from people as well with the same thing of, oh, now can they just go back and they're just going to reprint base set? Well, they might, but it's not the same thing. It would be like comparing base set to evolutions, or even if it was the exact same card, it's not going to have that Wizards of the Coast on there. Nobody's going to pay a premium for that. All right. Hey, MS Workmeister. Thank you so much for that super chat, my friend. Recently purchased complete base set in decent shape for $775. Would you recommend sitting on it or flipping? So I assume that you bought it in a raw form, all cards raw. For me personally, take a look. You say they're in decent shape. I take that as like a near mint status kind of shape. A lot of those cards. Now, I guess I would just ask you the question, is it unlimited? Is it shadowless? I'm going to assume that it's unlimited. But even if they're in near mint condition, PSA 7, PSA 8, the vast majority of them, I think that flipping them at this point would probably be a good idea. You know, when you've got raw cards, really in their raw condition, they're not worth much. Most cards are not worth much in a raw condition. The only way that they really garner value is when they're graded. That places a value because we've got data on, we've got sales data, and we've got previous analytics to show us exactly how much that card is going for on, in the current market, at current market value. So I would say go ahead and get them graded. And now if you get them graded, you could sit on them. and you could sit on those for a while and allow them to potentially appreciate. But you could build up your capital even more by flipping them, and I think that's probably a good opportunity to do so, especially if you've got a complete base set. That would be something where you could put that out there as a master set. Sell it as a master set. You'll be able to garner a pretty good chunk of change for a master set, especially for something like base set. Hey, and Pat, thank you for that super chat, my friend. Thoughts on special delivery Pikachu at $425 plus raw at this point? To me, it's baffling. I'll be quite honest with you. The fact that you could get this card just by spending, I think over $20 on Pokemon Center, something like that. It might not have even been that much, and that it's garnering such a heavy price point. By now, it's baffling to me. I really don't understand it. Even with the special delivery Charizard, that to me, I don't know. Somebody that was talking about this the other day that is well known in the community, Z from Z&G Emporium, and he was talking about the reprinted jumbo cards coming out now for the 25th anniversary, and he was just like, I don't know why everybody's getting excited over reprints. Now, I don't know if he necessarily knew that they were jumbo cards, which is appealing. A jumbo card, pretty cool, and it's 25th anniversary commemorative, which I've always said commemorative type of products I think hold a better value, especially over the long term. But I think we have to rein in some of this hype. You know what I mean? We have to rein in some of the expectations that we have for some of these products. And although I enjoy special delivery Pikachu, I enjoy special delivery Charizard, do they really warrant these prices that we're seeing? Now, you guys can argue with me and maybe think otherwise, but I just don't see it. I just don't see why these cards are getting to that particular price point, and it is pretty baffling. But for those who are capitalizing on it, hey, more power to you. More power to you, man. Yeah, Will Chow says the special delivery Charizard will go higher. I have no doubt about that. But again, does it warrant it? In my opinion, I don't think so. $25 to get it. So yeah, $25 in order to get the special delivery Pikachu, which, I mean, let's be quite honest, most of the products on Pokemon Center are going to be over that. So as long as you're purchasing something, which Pokemon Center has absolutely exploded over this last year or so of people coming in and purchasing products there, which, prior to that, it was pretty, it wasn't very well known. And it's cool to see that it has blown up like it has. But yeah, it really doesn't take much to get that special delivery Pikachu. Hey, Miss Workmeister, thank you again for that super chat. The base set is complete, unlimited set of 102 cards. The Charizard is about a 5, but the rest of the Holos are 7-ish. Also, Japanese Southern Islands. Should I open to grade individuals or keep the complete set sealed? I've been getting a lot of questions on this, based upon the fact that I have been selling these recently. And to me, at this point, like if you've got one complete set of the Japanese Southern Islands. Like for me now, I've got several. So now I'm thinking to myself, okay, I want to have one complete set sealed. I want to have one complete set graded. But if you're determining or you're trying to decide between the two, at this point, I would say, what is your goal? Is this going to be something in your collection? Now, if you look out on the open market, there is, and I have never come across a complete master set of the Japanese Southern Islands graded. So I have never come across that. So if you're looking to try to, maybe flip this, maybe get, maybe reinvest that back into your collection or other investments, I would say at this point, you'd be better off getting the cards graded, because right now they're actually more valuable for the most part. It depends on what condition they come back in, what the grade comes back. But for the most part, the graded cards are going to be more valuable than the sealed products. Now, that's not always the case with Pokemon products, but in this case, as things currently stand, the graded cards altogether is more than the sealed products. Now, over the long term, will it continue to be that way? I can't say, but one thing I do know is that if any of the past vintage products are an indication, these at the rate that they're being opened up, the value on that from a supply and demand standpoint should lend to the fact that it will continue to increase in value in the future. As I said, more and more of these are being opened up, so that decreases the supply, which increases the overall demand. So if you're looking for a long term, I would say keep them sealed. But if you're looking to maybe flip those and reinvest or buy other products, I would say at this point, it's probably better to have them graded. And I tell you what, guys, there's some bangers in there. That Mew card, that comes back a PSA 10. That card's going between, I've seen it go between 2,000 to 3,500. In a PSA 9, I've seen it go for 300 to about 500. The Slow King, well over 1,000 in a PSA 10. The Togepi, well over 1,000 in a PSA 10. Even the the Ladybug, I believe, in a PSA 10, over 1,000. So these cards are quite valuable, and it's because if you look on PSA's population report, these things are all under, even in PSA 9s, most of them are under a Pop 100. So that's something to take into consideration, is that there's not a lot of these out on the open market. Not a lot of these cards have been graded, and certainly not very many of them have come back in a PSA 10 condition. So that is something that you certainly want to consider. So good question, my friend. Really good question. Oh, and I don't think I answered the first part of your question, which was the base set. Yeah, I mean your Charizard's a PSA 5, which it's unlimited. I'm not sure what the price on that. I mean, I know that PSA 9. Base set unlimited Charizard was getting around 1,000 for a while. It was dropping quite a bit for a while. So I imagine PSA 5, maybe a few hundred for a PSA 5. But if the rest are in that PSA 7-ish condition, I think it's worth having them graded, personally. I think I would go ahead and get those graded. And if you want to have a complete master set, hey man, now's a good time to do it, now that you've got all those cards. All right, let's jump into a few more questions here. Let's see. So Dalton asks, hey PokéNav, with this sudden boom of full art trainers, do you think they will continue to rise, or should I sell what I've got while in this bubble? Full art trainers they're becoming one of the premier cards to get, especially with modern and ultra modern sets. A lot of people are really gravitating more towards the full art trainers, and this again is kind of the social sentiment. The things change over time. This is one of the things we've talked about on our podcast, is how are things going to change over time with new generations coming up? Are they going to be looking at different products that they place a higher value on? And I think we're starting to see that. I think we're starting to see more of an emphasis placed on the full art trainers, because we've got other generations that are coming up that value those cards. So as to whether you should hold on to them or sell what you've got, I actually see a trend of this continuing. So if you're deciding between the two, in my opinion, it might be better to just go ahead and hold on to them at this point. Connor B, hey, best answer, buy one set to keep sealed and one to grade. There you go. That's always the easiest answer. But it's not always the case for everybody. So a lot of the time, people are trying to decide between, hey, should I grade this? Should I keep it sealed? I don't have the financial means to have both, so I want to try to make the best decision with what I do have. And I try to do my best in providing that. All right, let's see. My name is Cade says, I'm banking on Neogenesis first editions and hope that the anniversary set is a Neogenesis reprint. Just need a few more holos. Not sure whether to take the dive and purchase Near Mint Lugia and Typhlosion. It would be so cool. I've been saying it for a while now that I think the 25th anniversary set, I think we're going to see an Evolutions-esque type of set, and it's going to be the Neo reprints. So I'm right there with you, my man. Jody Matoma, do you think Radiant Collection 2013 and 16 are being slept on? Incredible cards in those two Radiant Collection sets. I totally agree, man. I actually have an undervalued series video, and I talked pretty extensively about the Radiant Collection. There's one of the most beautiful Charizards in there that I've ever seen. I think the Radiant Collection is still slept on. I think more people are moving towards it and more people are recognizing it for what it actually is, but I still think it's very slept on at this point. So I think it certainly has a lot of potential. And actually, I'm going to suggest something right here, guys, for the live chat. I haven't suggested this before, but if you have a specific question for me, go ahead and tag me in your question so I can kind of pick those out rather than just talking between each other in the live chat. So for instance, here we got Oak V2. He tagged me in there. It makes it easier for me to pick out those questions. Have you heard of Thompson Pokemon cards? How do you feel about it? Do you think it's worth holding? Yeah, for sure. Thompson, it's I got a lot of blowback in another undervalued series where I was actually recommending taking a look at the World Championship collection boxes, and people were saying, well, they're not even real Pokemon cards. They don't even have the same backs on them. They're not even a part of the TCG, and that's where I come back with things like Thompson, or Cardus, or Vending Series, or any of these other cards that aren't a part of the actual domain of the TCG, a playable card within the TCG at some point. I think Thompson's fantastic. I think that's a wonderful series to be investing in, and it's continuing to see growth. Just from a few years ago. So yeah, I would say definitely a card worth looking at, and cards worth holding. Chance the Rapper says, smashing the content. Any tips on specific cards to take a punt and invest in now? Japanese Southern Islands collection. No, I'm just kidding. But I think seriously, I do think they are a good investment. Outside of that, I've seen a lot of trends towards Burning Shadows. I've seen a lot of trends. Maybe it's because I've talked about it. These aren't card specific, but more or less sets or series. I've seen a trend towards Black and White. I've been talking about it a lot. I've seen trends towards X and Y era as well. Specific cards. One that I was talking about the other day, and in fact I was talking about it with Jules in the podcast, is the Sword and Shield base set pre-order promo Pikachu card, specifically the Japanese card. That one I think is slept on at this point. and it's actually been seeing a steady increase in value, especially graded. But you essentially received this card when you pre-ordered the Sword and Shield base set, and especially the Japanese card has been seeing really good growth lately. So that's one that I would take a look at. Outside of that, if we're talking maybe a little bit more modern, I would say the Amazing Rares. I think the Amazing Rares have been amazing. They've been, to me, the best cards that we've had from Sword and Shield. Outside of the Charizards, which obviously garner the higher value. I think the Amazing Rares are beautiful cards. They're really a throwback to the way the cards used to be back in the WotC days. Not too flashy, but just enough to really captivate, the viewer, the collector. And so I think the Amazing Rare cards are another one to maybe take a look at, start holding on to, start getting those graded if you have them, because I think they definitely have a lot of potential moving forward. Miss Workmeister, again, thank you for that super chat. Sorry for all the questions. Do you think the VMAX Rainbow Chew will appreciate, or do you think current pricing is just hype? Honestly, I think that card is actually in a good place. It was really difficult to get. I mean, from an actual pull rate standpoint, like 1 in 1,000, 1 in 1,200, that to me indicates, just from a rarity standpoint, I think that is actually, the prices that we're seeing are actually deserving for that rarity, how difficult it is to actually pull that card. I think this is one of the examples where, the price actually does match the card, based upon, just from a pull rate standpoint. So I do think that the Rainbow Pikachu, which if you guys watch my, the top 10 cards to invest from 2020, the Rainbow Pikachu, numero dos on that list. I think it's a fantastic card, and I think it'll continue to see a lot of growth. Let me see. Sound all of a sudden got echoey. I don't know why. It's so strange. I really wish I was more technologically adept. I understand this stuff a little bit more. Maybe I'm just a little too close to my mic. I'll back up a little bit. Epic says, thoughts on this year's impact on the community with scalping and COVID-19. I think it's horrible, but it's made sense because you've got a pandemic. You don't have as many people working. You don't have as much manpower. You don't have as much printing power. You've got a time where a lot of people are going back to their childhood. So more people are coming into the hobby, and you've got less product out on shelves, and the product that is out on shelves is then being scalped because of the hype and the notoriety around Pokemon. So you really just had a perfect storm. I don't think that it is going to continue as we move throughout this year. I think that once vaccines start to roll out, as we start to go back to a sense of normalcy, I think we will start to see things go back to the way they were. But I think that for at least for now, we're going to see that, and it's, like I said, it's just a perfect storm. Right, let's see. Oh, and guys, I didn't even mention it at the beginning. We're gonna get back to these questions, but I gotta mention it right now. We got 101 people here in this live Q&A, and we only got 33 likes. You guys know what you gotta do. We gotta get that double slap attack going. One for that like button, and if you guys aren't, one for that subscribe button as well, guys. Come on, let's get those likes over 100. Do it for your boy PokéNav. I certainly appreciate it. Jules, let's light it up in that live chat with some lightning bolts. Let's get that thunder punch, and let's get that double slap going in the live chat, guys. Let's get it over 100. Super Glitch asks, do you send different types of cards to different grading companies? Personally, I have not. I've really just focused on PSA. If I ever have a card that I think might be able to get that Beckett 10, that pristine 10, then I will go down that route. But for the vast majority of cards, it is with PSA, because PSA, whether everyone wants to believe it or not, or whether they like it or not, does garner a premium, at least for now. All right, let's see. Do you think, Carbon Derek, do you think Pokemon would ever partner with another company such as Wizards of the Coast or Topps to do a modern set as a throwback to when they used to print sets? Personally, I don't. I mean, Pokemon, back in the day, it made sense for them to partner with Wizards of the Coast because they were a growing company. They didn't have the same kind of economy of scale that they do now. I don't see them really partnering, especially with Wizards of the Coast. I think there was a big fallout there between those two companies, so I don't ever see them going back there. I think Pokemon is basically on their own at this point, and I think that's the way that they want to keep it. Bethmon says, should I grade the Southern Island card set or better let them sealed? Again, like I said, if you've got an entire set, at this point, it's, again, barring what grade they come back in, they're actually more valuable graded. Taken together, they're more valuable graded than as a sealed set. But again, that does not mean that will continue to be the case moving on into the future as more of these are being opened. I mean, we're talking about it right now. We're talking about opening these products. The more that happens, the more valuable this sealed products become, especially, ones like this that have the price tag still on them. In an age in an age of fakes, in an age of scammers, that right there, just that little price tag is going to be huge to have on your sealed products. Oh, one thing that I want to mention here, guys, we got my friend Pokefuel in the live chat as well. If you guys want the absolute most thorough breakdown, it's a 2-part series, but it is the most thorough breakdown of how to make money selling Pokemon cards, go over to his channel and check it out. I cannot recommend it enough. He did a fantastic job with this 2-part video series, and it breaks it down into the greatest detail, guys. And if you want to do yourselves a favor and you really want to learn more about exactly how you can make money selling Pokemon cards in various different ways, then I would go over to his channel and check out that video. It is absolutely fantastic, and I can't recommend it enough. And that is our buddy Pokefuel, and he is in the live chat with us. What's up, buddy? Fefmon says, your thoughts on Kanazawa Pikachu? I think it's, long and short, I think it's a fantastic card. Again, talking about commemorative type of products, that falls right in line there. I've also heard other collectors out there that have touted this card as well, and I would agree with their sentiments on it. I think that anytime you have these commemorative products, Japanese exclusive products, they typically have good long-term value. I think the Kanazawa, whichever way you want to pronounce it, Pikachu, I think definitely falls in line with that. Is WotC, Anthony Flores, is WotC promos good to invest in? Do you recommend the promos over the set cards if they're not first editions? I don't know that I would recommend them over the set cards, but I do recommend promos from Wizards of the Coast, the Black Star promos. So many nostalgic cards in there, and cards that you've got. The Ancient Mew card. You've got the, we're talking about special delivery Pikachu. I can remember the Dragonite from Pokemon the first movie, that Black Star promo, the delivery Dragonite. Just so many really wonderful cards in there. You've got the Articuno from Skyridge. There's just so many beautiful Black Star promo cards from Wizards of the Coast era. And if you guys want a full breakdown on all of those cards, just go to Google, type in Wizards of the Coast Black Star promos, and you can find all of them. And you can take a look at those various cards. But you'll see there's so many wonderful, wonderful cards in there. Brandon Worrell says, which should be my next purchase between Dragon Majesty, Shining Legends, and Hidden Fates? Good question. At this point, I think Shining Legends would probably be the better option, just because we are seeing more reprints of Hidden Fates. I think, again, you're going to have to get past about, Radar and I talked about this on the podcast. You're going to have to get past about that 4-year time horizon after a product or a set is released to, I think, really see sustained growth. And Hidden Fates, it seems like they're just going to continue to reprint that set because of its popularity. Not that Shining Legends isn't popular, but we're not seeing the level of reprints that we have with Hidden Fates. So I think now would probably be a good time to maybe focus more on Shining Legends. And I'm not biased because I got them behind me. It's honest opinion. Hey, Miss Workmeister, hey, coming in hot again. Do you think the Japanese Pikachu promo cards from the Pokemon centers are worth importing? Also, for the master set, do you think I should grade every single card? Thank you so much for all the info. So if you're talking about, let's go ahead and get to the Japanese Pikachu cards. If you're able to get them, now it's pretty difficult, honestly, to work with either a distributor or to try to find a resource from Japan where you can get the Japanese exclusive products. So it is tough. So if you can find something reliable so that you're not paying an exorbitant amount of fees to get those here, then I would say, definitely take a look at it. For the master set, what I would say is, take a look at kind of like a cost benefit scenario here. So yes, I think if you can get all of the cards graded and you can have one complete master set, that would be fantastic. It's also going to be pretty expensive to have all of those cards graded. Even if you're going through our friends over at Graded Gem, if you're sending over 100 cards, I believe that comes out to $8.99. So you're looking at probably close to over $1,000 to have all of those cards graded. Now, do I think you can sell it for more, a full master set for more than $1,000? Obviously, yes. But if you've got the capital to get all of those graded, then I would say, go ahead and do so. Because at this point, I think you'd be better off, because that's the problem that a lot of people have, is completing a master set, having that. Now, granted, a lot of people are going to want to have that all in maybe one particular condition. So they're going to want a complete master set, all PSA 9 or all PSA 8. So if you've got a mix in there, you're probably not going to get the same kind of premium that you would if they were all the same. So that's something else to take into consideration there. So really, that's what you have to do. You have to sit down, you have to calculate it. You say to yourself, okay, this is how much I purchased these cards for. This is how much it would be to get them all graded, and then beyond that, calculate what your profit margin would be, and also, kind of understand that if they're all different grades, you're probably not going to get as much as you would if they were all the same grade. So hopefully that helps you out in that regard, Miss Workmeister. And again, I appreciate that super chat. Thank you very, very much. Leo B, thank you for that super chat, my friend. Will Legendary Collection reverse holos get their recognition? They're beautiful, unique, and the pop reports are very low on most. I've been meaning to talk about this, so thank you so much. Yes, the reverse holos from Legendary Collection have seen a huge increase in popularity, especially over the last couple years, and I totally agree with you. I think that they are not getting the same kind of recognition that they should be. The populations on them are super low, and they're difficult to grade. That's why the populations are low, because they are difficult to grade. When you spread that holo out over the whole card rather than in just one square, it makes it that much more difficult to grade and to come back in a PSA 10, PSA 9 condition. So I think that they're going to continue to grow in popularity, and as people start to recognize the fact that, wow, these are a really low pop, you're going to start to see the prices on those continue to go up. I mean, Legendary Collection used to be the hopefully nobody takes offense to this, but the redheaded stepchild of the TCG. Nobody liked Legendary Collection. And now, much like base set 2, these are some of the more popular sets from Wizards of the Coast, especially Legendary Collection. A lot of people love that, and myself included. I actually always loved Legendary Collection. A lot of the cards that I had from my childhood were from Legendary Collection. So I've been a fan all along myself. So man, I think that they're going to see a big resurgence, and that's an area that I would certainly take a look at. But again, thank you so much for that super chat, and thank you for that question. Fefmon says, "Aren't you scared that this is just a bubble that just burst?" So, I mean, people have been talking about, the bubble for a while now. I think personally, at this point, we've got so many people that have rediscovered Pokemon. We've had so many people that have come into the hobby, that have, found their passion once again. And Pokemon isn't the child's game anymore. It's not for kids anymore. People understand, like, this is it is our childhood, but there's probably more adults in the hobby now than actual children. So I think the fact that you've got this popularity, and now this is not to say that maybe prices aren't maybe inflated for some items. I don't think for all, but perhaps, we were talking about the special delivery Pikachu. I think it's inflated there. So you have to look at this in the aggregate. And there's going to be certain products that are going to have a retrace. We've seen that already with like certain graded cards. We've seen that with even sealed products. We've seen some retraces, but we've also seen other products continue to grow in value. And that's where, I've said it before, I compare the Pokemon card market to the financial markets. Like, you can't say that, the financial markets is just in a bubble right now. Well, segments of it might be, or segments of it might be overvalued, which I could get really into the weeds on that based upon what we're seeing right now in the financial markets. But it is an aggregate. You have to take everything together. So you take together your stocks, you take together your bonds. You take all of these things into consideration when you're looking at it, and you look at it in the aggregate. And that's what I try to do with Pokemon. And that's what I think we'll see. You'll see retraces in some areas. You'll see other areas have growth. And you'll see this ebb and flow throughout the hobby. But overall, I think that the entire Pokemon cards market is destined for a recession or a depression. No, I personally don't. All right, let's see. Jody Matoma says,
what percentage of people that have Pokemon cards do you think actually play the TCG? Do you think it's like 1% to 2%? That's what I'm thinking. I personally don't know. I know there is a very thriving community of competitive players out there. If you've ever watched the Worlds, there's a lot of people that enjoy that aspect of the TCG. From a percentage standpoint, I don't know. It's hard to say. It seems small to me because I don't delve into that arena. I'm not well versed when it comes to the competitive play scene. So to me it seems small, but that may just be based upon my limited and otherwise ignorant perspective on it, because I just focus on the collection aspect or the investing aspect, and not the competitive scene. So it may be far greater than what we understand, but we're just not exposed to it as much as we are with collecting and investing. Oak V2 says, what do you think of Skyridge cards? I personally think they are one of the best investments, as there aren't many booster boxes left, so holo singles might be worth getting. Skyridge is amazing. I mean, we've talked about it before. It was the last set printed by Wizards of the Coast, right before they had their big brouhaha with the Pokemon Company. And it wasn't printed in large quantities. I think because of that, because of what was going on, there's so many beautiful cards in there. I mean, the problem is at this point is it's outrageously expensive. Skyridge booster boxes, graded cards, even singles, raw cards, outrageously expensive, and so it's hard to get your hands on those. So do I think they're going to continue to have growth in the future? Oh, for sure. It's just a matter of, can you get your hands on them? That's always the big question with many of those old products. All right, let's see. Epic says, how do you feel about the new CGC grading company that a lot of people have been going to? I did a whole video, it's been quite a while back, but I did a whole video on CGC. Now, they have come under fire recently because of the video that I'm sure many of you seen of them opening up the label, the actual slab, with their bare hands. So they've come under fire for that, but CGC has a long history of grading products, specifically comics. Our boy Jules is probably more familiar with them than most, because he's a big comic collector. But they've got a long history on grading products. They're a good company, and I think that you're going to see actually more of a push towards CGC unless PSA and Beckett figure out a way to rein in turnaround times, whether that's employing more people, whether that's having more brick and mortar stores. Now they are, PSA at least, is now a privately owned company. So I think that's going to give them more leverage in being able to do more things, more financial leverage, I should say. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes and what they actually, do with that. So I'm excited to see what happens there. But as I said, unless they can figure that out, right now the turnaround times, you're looking at like 5 to 6 months to get your cards back with PSA. So people are not going to want to have to do that consistently. And I think you'll start to see more of a push towards CGC, and that may be the catalyst that they need in order to grow and really make a name for themselves. Anthony says, do you think this is the time to invest in Japanese cards? Do you see this market going up once people are priced out of the English market? I've given the breakdown before where, we're talking about evolutions. So first edition base set, out of the price range for most people. Then you go to Shadowless, out of the price range for most people. Unlimited, starting to get out of the price range for most people. the next thing in line is Japanese. And there's already been a big push towards Japanese products because, as you said, there's been a large segment of people who have been priced out of the other more expensive sets, and so they've moved to Japanese. And Japanese, those sets are exactly the same. They're exactly the same cards, just in a different language. And just as beautiful, if not more. The other thing that Japanese cards have going for them is typically they are of better quality right off the printing press than English cards. Especially, you go back to WotC era, a lot of those Japanese cards are much better quality, much better cuts than their English equivalents. So, yeah, I think you're already starting to see more of a push towards Japanese cards. So it's just only going to accelerate, in my opinion. All right, let's see. What other questions do we have here? We'll get through a few more here. Hey, come on, guys. Let's get those likes over 100. Let's do it. I know you guys can. PokeZen lives in the same town as CGC. That's always really great. One of the things that I thought that would be fantastic for PSA to do would be to have more brick and mortar locations where you could just take your cards right into them and drop them off. You had the security in knowing that your cards were at the facility rather than, perhaps going through some of the horror stories that we've heard of cards being sent through the mail service. I think that would be something, especially now that they're a private entity. I think they should leverage that and actually open up more brick and mortar stores throughout the US, throughout Canada, throughout Europe. I think that it would be fantastic to have that, especially here in Phoenix, it'd be great. I would definitely drive and drop my cards off. Even if I had to pay a little bit more of a premium to have them dropped off, I would much rather do that than sending them through the mail. So we'll see. Hopefully that's something that they might consider. All right, let's see here. We're getting close, guys. We're getting close to 100 likes. We are 13 off. I need your help. Thoughts on GMA? Personally, I have not looked much into GMA. A lot of people have asked me the same question about GMA, and I've seen a lot of cards. I've looked into it a little bit, but I just really haven't taken an interest in it. Again, it could be a similar situation to CGC where you start to have more people move to that based upon the fact that it just takes so long to go through PSA or Beckett. So it could have potential there, but my areas that I've looked in, it really go PSA, Beckett, or CGC. I really haven't looked any further beyond that at this point. I'm kind of a creature of habit in that regard, I guess you could say. All right, let's see if we've got any other questions here. We're gonna get through a couple more, guys, so go ahead and let them roll in here. We'll get through a couple more questions and then we will call it a night. Just before I do get to those, again, just kind of a wrap up of what I talked about earlier in the announcements. If you haven't checked it out already, go watch the newest episode of the Pokemon Purveyors. That is Jules and myself, our podcast together. Really fun episode. We talked about our 3 most recent eBay searches when it comes to Pokemon, and we got into the weeds on that one. That was a fun conversation. Also, I do have a few more of the sealed Japanese Southern Islands collection boxes still available. So if you guys are interested in that, reach out to me via email, PokéNav27@gmail.com, and you can potentially get your hands on one of those. I no longer have a complete set of those. I sold my last Field of Flowers, my last complete set. So at this point, it is just the individuals. But I still do have a few left. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me. And last but not least, Dave Pearson. If you guys have questions for him, he's going to be the next guest on the Pokemon Masterclass. And if you guys have any questions for him, the #1 English Pokemon cards collector in the world, yeah, that's right, in the world, then send them over to me either via email or over on my Instagram via a direct message at Pokemon_Navigator. All right, here we go. Let's get into these last couple questions here. Chance the Rapper says, I spent $2.9K on Mario Luigi pack from the 20th anniversary set. Do you think this is a good investment long term? Any suggestion for bigger investments? I know that is a super popular product. That I know that for sure. Now, I have not looked into it extensively. Now, as far as long-term investment, it's got all of the right makings for me. You've got an exclusive product, you've got a commemorative product, you've got kind of a collaborative product. You've slapped Pokemon and Mario, perhaps two of the biggest gaming brands out there. So that, those three things alone spell to me great long-term investment, great collector's piece, something that people are going to look at. As far as any suggestion for bigger investments, at this point, it just really depends on your goals, man. And I say that all the time, and maybe sometimes it can seem trite, but it really does. It's when I was a financial advisor, okay, people come in and they say, "What should I invest in?" It's like a blanket statement. You've got to piece everything together. So you got to say, what are your short-term goals, your long-term goals? You have to piece all of these financial aspects together to then provide them with a comprehensive blueprint and comprehensive piece of advice. So for bigger investments, what I would say is, what is your goal for that? If your goal is to try to turn around and flip that for a profit, maybe for a bigger premium, then you're really going to have to pay your due diligence, and you're going to have to find that at a discount. You're going to have to find it cheaper than what it's currently going for to be able to resell at that premium. Obviously, sealed products are always, in my opinion, a good investment. Graded cards, I think that, you go back to Wizards of the Coast era, we talk about base set. I think PSA 8 cards are something to be looked at right now. Something that I think is going to continue to see more growth. Again, we go down that hierarchy. PSA 10's getting priced out. PSA 9's getting priced out. SM Pratt for the longest time was touting PSA 9 cards, and people were overlooking them, and now it's really hard to get PSA 9s. So now people are turning to the PSA 8. So I think that there's a good opportunity there. So really, man, what I would say is kind of look at what your goals are. And I guess I'll just announce this right now, guys. So I've been talking about the website, and that is still in the works, and it is being developed. It's going to be launching here very soon. But one of the things that I want to get your feedback on. Okay, these Q&As are great, and I love them. But again, if I can sit down with somebody and I can have a thorough conversation, and we can break everything down, and we can say, here's your short-term goals, here's your long-term goals, and we can actually put a blueprint together for you. I think you guys might get or understand what I'm getting at here. What I want to do is I would like to put together consultation sessions. those would be available on the website where you could sign up for them. They would probably be like 30-minute consultation sessions, and it would just be a single price for that 30 minutes. So what I want to get from you guys is that something that that you would be interested in, or the community at large? Is that something that you would be interested in seeing, where you would have that one-on-one consultation session with me, where we can really get into the nitty-gritty and we can really, dig deep into what it is your goals are and how we can get you to that based upon your unique experience. So let me know in the live chat what you guys think about that, because it's something that I have been considering for a while. A lot of people have reached out to me asking and inquiring about it, for especially the last 4 or 5 months. A lot of people asking about that. So I'm interested to see. Obviously, I want to pursue something that you guys are interested in, and that you want to see, and that you want to have at your disposal. So Jody Matoma, is that consultation in private or public on video? No, that would be 100% private. It would be a one-on-one private consultation between myself and you. We would schedule a time. It would probably be hosted over Zoom. We would probably do a Zoom call, and then once that was over, if we wanted to schedule a follow-up, then we would put that into the schedule. And if it is something, there's programs out there where it makes it very easy. It can be added to my schedule. It automatically gets sent out to the person who is signing up for the consultation. So I can make it very, very seamless. But no, it'd be 100% private, just one-on-one consultations. Oh man, so this is a really good question. I'm so glad you brought it up, CJ Do Work. What is Commander Curtis like in real life? So I'm so upset that I actually didn't get a picture, but this last weekend, Commander Curtis was actually in town. His daughter was getting married here in Phoenix, and he actually is from Hawaii, and he was visiting, and so he reached out to me. He said, "Hey man, I'm gonna be in town." So we met up, had lunch together, and he's a great guy. We sat and we talked for a couple hours, and he really is a great guy. We talked about Pokemon, we talked about business, we talked about he's a former, obviously by his name, he's a former military guy, so we talked about his experience in the military, and he's a really good guy. He's passionate about what he does. He truly loves the Pokemon market report and putting that together, and yeah, he's all in all, he's a fantastic human being, a really good guy. And I've also got some other things, some other collaborations that I talked to him about, going back to the website, that he will more likely be featured in. So I really want to include him more into the community, because I think he's got very valuable information to share with you guys. So it was fun. I'm glad you brought that up, because it was a great time spending time with him. And like I said, I regret the fact that we didn't snag a picture together and put it out there, because I think that would have been fun for everybody to see that, two members of the community, actually getting together in person. I know that seems hard to believe in this day and age, but yeah, we actually met face to face. Yeah, I know, hard to believe that actually exists anymore. Oak2 says 5-person consultation, get 20% off. We'll have a group consultation. Hey, Miss Workmeister, I've been prepping for a big PSA sub, and between pulls/purchases, I'm at about 30 Vivid Voltage Amazing Rares. Do you see much long term from these? Just a fad. No, I actually was talking about it earlier. I made that comment that I think, for modern cards, I think Amazing Rares, I think are going to be one of those that, 5-10 years from now, people are going to really, really look back fondly on these cards. To me, they're the most beautiful cards that have been released from Sword and Shield, in my opinion. I know you guys might call me crazy for that, but they're not super flashy. They're not like, you know, fireworks going off in your face like you see with other cards, but they just remind me of a little bit more simple style that is reminiscent of WotC, and they're just, I don't know, they're just, the way that they design them, to me, is just beautiful. You know, the cards or the Pokemon that they chose for those amazing rares, I think also lends to their overall value. So I've actually got a complete set from Vivid Voltage as well that I'm going to be sending in to have graded, to have you know, a complete set of those amazing rares from Vivid Voltage. So I'm going to be doing the same thing if that's any consolation. All right, let's see. So I think that's going to be it, guys. I think that will do it for tonight. Lots of good questions tonight. You guys are awesome. Lots of good questions. I hope that I answered them as thoroughly as you guys were hoping for. I love these Q&A Fridays. They're always a lot of fun. And again, guys, be on the lookout. Lots of cool stuff coming down the pipeline. Lots of fun things that I'm really looking forward to. And just looking forward to 2021 altogether, for the channel, for the community, for Pokemon, you know, the TCG, everything. 2021 is going to be a fun year. So I think we will leave it there, guys. You have a very safe weekend, and I will see you next time. Other than that, guys, my name is PokéNav. I'm here to help you navigate the world of Pokemon, one video at a time, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, guys.